And in this cocoon, the alchemist feels his eyelids grow heavy. He does not resist, he lets them drift closed. He lets his body sink further into the chair. His breathing is even slow, peaceful. The drops fall, the water ripples, and everything is in harmony. So too may you close your eyes now, letting the weight of them rest, letting the muscles soften, letting your whole body surrender to the gentle rhythm. You do not need to hold yourself up. You do not need to stay awake. You may drift, just as the alchemist drifts, into the arms of sleep, carried by the timeless voice of water. Drip, drop, drop. Close your eyes once more, dear listener, and allow the night to settle around you like a warm blanket. The steady rhythm of water falling, drop by drop, invites you to surrender, to sink a little deeper, to rest. The alchemist remains seated by the basin, his body still, his breath calm. Outside, the moon shifts across the sky, and though the night changes, the workshop feels timeless. As if here, in this place, time itself slows, stretching like the long shadows of candlelight, softening like the quiet burn of coals in the hearth. He opens his eyes, heavy though they are, and gazes at the flicker of flame. The embers glow a deep, steady red, like the heart of the earth itself. Their light dances gently against the old stone walls, making the workshop feel alive, breathing, swaying, whispering. The shelves around him hold jars of powders, bundles of herbs, and flasks of strange tinctures. Each one seems to hum faintly in the firelight, as though every substance, every leaf and mineral carries a secret waiting to be told. But tonight, there is no need to experiment, no need to mix, to grind, to burn. Tonight, the only experiment is time itself. The only alchemy is patience. The alchemist leans forward again, watching the water. Another drop falls, and another. The circles spread, glimmer and fade. He imagines that each drop is a star falling from the heavens into his basin. Each ripple is the trail of light it leaves behind, and the basin itself is the sky, turned upside down, catching constellations in its quiet embrace. Perhaps you can see it too, a star falling, gently, silently, into the still water. You watch as the ripples fade, and you feel, deep inside, that the night is vast, that you are cradled in its endless expanse, that you are safe. The alchemist's breathing slows, in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the drops. And your breathing slows, too, in and out, each breath carrying you further into calmness, each breath carrying you closer to the quiet core of yourself. Outside, a soft breeze stirs. It slips beneath the doorframe, carrying with it the scent of night, cool, damp earth, faint traces of grass and wood, the clean fragrance of midnight air. It mingles with the lavender smoke drifting through the workshop, and together, these scents weave a lullaby of earth and sky, a fragrance both grounding and unending, reminding you that you belong to both the soil beneath your feet and the heavens above your head. Drip, drop, drop. The fire softens to embers now. The workshop is bathed in a low golden glow. Shadows grow longer, deeper, curling into the corners. The alchemist closes his eyes once more, letting his head rest lightly against the wall. He does not fight sleep. He welcomes it, for he knows that sleep itself is part of the rhythm of time, a falling into silence, a falling into rest, a falling into timelessness. And as he drifts, so too may you. The story cradles you. The sound steadies you, the rhythm carries you. There is no rush, there is no need to hold on. Each word is only another drop. Each pause is another ripple, and all of it guides you deeper and deeper into peace. Breathe with me again, slowly, as the sound of the workshop settles around you, in and out, each breath like a gentle tide, each breath like the next drop of water falling into the basin of night. The alchemist moves quietly across the workshop floor. His steps are soft, slippered, muffled against old wooden boards that creak only slightly under his weight. It is as though the very house is asleep, yet keeps watch with him in silence. The beams overhead carry the smell of old oak and smoke, the scent of centuries past, as if the walls themselves have witnessed endless nights just like this one. He pauses by a small table, where bundles of parchment rest, tied with faded ribbon. On each sheet are notes, marks, and drawings that speak of measurements, of drops counted and hours marked. Some pages are blotched with ink stains, others with a faint outline of a cup where tea was once set and forgotten. But he does not mind, for the alchemist knows that time itself is not measured in perfect lines, but in these very moments, the quiet pauses, the still hours, the space between. He dips his quill into ink and writes another note, one line, then another. The scratch of quill against parchment is soft, whispery, as though words themselves are trying not to disturb the stillness of the night. He writes of how each drop falls at an equal pace. He writes of how the sound echoes faintly, as though the water itself speaks. He writes of how, when he closes his eyes, the drip becomes his heartbeat, and perhaps it becomes yours too. Drip, you inhale. Drop, you exhale. Slowly, steadily, your rhythm settles into the same ancient pulse. You feel your chest rise and fall. You feel your body soften with each breath. The words wash over you, like the soft glow of candlelight across your face, like the warmth of the hearth at your side. The alchemist returns to the basin. He leans forward and watches the ripples again. They spread in perfect circles, widening, softening, until they fade into stillness. He knows that each ripple is like a thought in the mind. It begins, it moves outward, it touches everything around it, and then, with patience, it fades. The water becomes smooth again, calm again, silent again. The same is true for you now. Each thought that rises within you is like a drop. You notice it, acknowledge it, let it ripple outward, and then, slowly, softly, it fades. Your mind becomes calm water. Your body becomes still, like the basin resting under the vessel of time. The alchemist reaches for a small vial of oil and places it near the fire. The warmth releases its fragrance, lavender, soft and clean. The scent drifts across the room, mixing with smoke, candle wax, and parchment. It soothes you, wrapping you in the gentlest of fragrances, as if the air itself were a lullaby. He closes his eyes for a moment. The fire crackles, the water drips, the world holds its breath, and in that breath, he remembers. He remembers being a young apprentice, watching his master count the drops. He remembers standing in a room just like this one, listening to the same rhythm of water, learning to measure the passing of night. His master had told him, time is not to be controlled, it is to be honored. Each drop is a gift, each moment a treasure. He had not understood then, but now, as the years have folded gently into one another, he does. Drip, drop, drop. The clock does not demand, it does not chase, it only gives, again and again. It gives the gift of another moment, another breath, another heartbeat. You too are being given this gift. Right now, this moment is yours. It asks nothing from you. It requires no effort. It is already here, already complete. You may simply rest within it, like the alchemist rests within his timeless night. Outside, the town sleeps on. The houses are dark, shutters closed, chimneys quiet. The streets are empty, paved stones touched by moonlight and shadow. Even the animals are still, the dogs curled by their doors, the cats hidden in barns, the birds tucked safely in nests. The only sound that reaches this workshop is the sigh of wind as it weaves between narrow alleys and the occasional groan of a roof beam settling deeper into the night. And yet, in this single workshop, the heart of time beats gently. Drop by drop, moment by moment, night unfolds. The alchemist adds another log to the fire. The sparks rise, glowing like stars for a brief moment before vanishing into the air. He smiles softly, as if he knows those tiny sparks, too, are moments of time, brief, beautiful, then gone. But they do not vanish completely, for their warmth lingers, just as memories linger in the quiet corners of the heart. He sits again by the basin, resting his hands upon his knees. He does not count aloud, he only listens. He lets the water speak for itself, and the water says, "Be still, be patient, be here." You hear it too, don't you? That voice within the silence, that rhythm within the rhythm. Time here does not feel sharp or pressing. It does not demand, it does not press forward with urgency. Instead, it feels endless, like a circle, each drop falling into forever. And in that endless rhythm, you too are timeless. Here, in the alchemist's workshop, surrounded by warmth, silence, and the heartbeat of water, you are safe, you are still, you are infinite. The alchemist places another log on the fire, and the wood crackles softly, releasing a faint aroma of pine and smoke. Shadows dance along the walls, shifting gently like old friends, leaning in to listen. The basin glimmers in the flicker of flame, the ripples catching light and shadow in their gentle rings. Again you hear it, drip, drop, drip, drop. Each sound carries you deeper into calm. Each ripple spreads across your thoughts, smoothing them, softening them, leaving only peace behind. The world beyond the workshop is silent now. Only here, in this warm and timeless room, does time move. And yet, it does not hurry you, it soothes you. It reassures you. It tells you you do not need to chase, you do not need to strive. You are already here. You are already enough. Take a deep breath, and let it out slowly. Feel the weight of the day begin to soften, like a cloak sliding from your shoulders. You are safe here. You are warm here. There is nothing to do now but rest. Nothing to achieve, nothing to hold, only to let yourself be carried by the gentle rhythm of this story. As you listen, allow your body to soften. Notice how your hands rest quietly, how your shoulders slowly ease, how your breath begins to find its natural rhythm. In and out, slow, steady. Calm. Every word you hear is a stepping stone, guiding you deeper into stillness, deeper into peace. And now, our story begins. Our story today begins in a quiet workshop, tucked away at the edge of a medieval town. The streets outside are silent, cobblestones glistening faintly under the silver wash of moonlight. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of wood smoke from nearby hearths, and the distant hush of leaves rustling gently in the night breeze. Inside the workshop, everything feels different. It is warm, sheltered, filled with the faint fragrance of parchment, dried herbs, and the lingering sweetness of beeswax candles. At the heart of the room sits an old alchemist, calm, patient, steady. Before him rests a basin of polished brass, its surface reflecting the soft flicker of candlelight. Above it hangs a vessel, with a tiny hole at its base, and from that hole falls a single, glistening drop of water. Drip, pause, drop. Each fall of water is slow, steady, deliberate. The alchemist leans close, watching as each drop ripples the surface of the basin. To him, this is not water alone. It is time. It is the heartbeat of the night. Long before the towers of cities would ring with the clang of mechanical clocks, there were only simple ways to measure time. The sun's path, the shadow of a gnomon, the burning of a candle, the fall of sand. And here, in this small workshop, the alchemist studies the oldest of them all, the water clock. Drip, drop, drop. Drop. The sound is steady, hypnotic, like the pulse of the earth itself. It does not hurry, it does not delay. Each drop falls exactly when it must, and no sooner. The alchemist runs his hand gently over the rim of the basin, feeling the coolness of the metal. He smiles softly, as if listening to a friend. Every ripple that spreads across the surface is like a whisper of passing moments, the present sliding gracefully into the past, carried forward into the silence of memory. Imagine yourself there, seated quietly in the corner of this workshop. The air is warm from the small fire in the hearth. The flames crackle softly, their sound blending with the rhythm of falling water. Candlelight flickers along shelves lined with curious objects, rolled scrolls, small jars of herbs, bottles of strange powders, pieces of glass that catch the light like frozen drops of dawn. But nothing is loud here, nothing is hurried. The world outside feels far away. Here there is only the hush of night, the warmth of fire, and the steady beat of dripping water. You feel your breath settling into its rhythm, as if your body itself is listening to the gentle clock drip your inhale, drop your exhale, time and breath, weaving together, calming you, cradling you in an endless rhythm. The alchemist hums softly under his breath, not a song but a tone, deep and reassuring, like the low hum of the earth. His eyes are calm, his hands steady. He has no need to rush, for he knows that time, like water, cannot be hurried. It flows as it flows. As the water falls, he remembers how ancient scholars once spoke of time not as something to be chased, but as something to be witnessed. The Greeks had their clepsydras, the Persians their flowing fountains of hours. Time was not a machine to command, it was a river, always moving, always carrying us forward, gently, patiently. He leans closer, watching a droplet cling to the lip of the vessel. It trembles there for a moment, shining like a pearl in the candlelight, and then, softly, it falls. One more moment passing, one more ripple spreading, one more breath taken. You close your eyes, listening. In your imagination, you can hear it even more clearly now. Drip, drop, drop, like a lullaby soothing you, carrying you deeper, slower, safer into stillness. And in this cocoon, the alchemist feels his eyelids grow heavy. He does not resist, he lets them drift closed. He lets his body sink further into the chair. His breathing is even slow, peaceful. The drops fall, the water ripples, and everything is in harmony. So too may you close your eyes now, letting the weight of them rest, letting the muscles soften, letting your whole body surrender to the gentle rhythm. You do not need to hold yourself up. You do not need to stay awake. You may drift, just as the alchemist drifts, into the arms of sleep, carried by the timeless voice of water. Drip, drop, drop.